welcome to our English news edition coming to you from Canal, Algérie. First, to the headlines. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, presides a meeting of the Council of Ministers dedicated to two bills related to the rules applicable to free zones management, the protection and development of green spaces, as well as other important issues. Finding a solution to the Libyan crisis remains at the heart of Algeria's concerns, states Ramtan Al-Amamra, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, during the 20th edition of the Doha International Forum. And later on our news edition, we will listen to shocking confessions and statements made to investigators of the National Security Directorate by the detainee Mohammed Ben Halima, a member of the terrorist organization Rashad. The Moroccan people are on the verge of despair, stuck between the Zionist threat and the economic stagnation. Their demonstrations are violently repressed by the Makhzen regime. In national football, CR Belouizdad strengthens its position as the leader of the League One Football Championship with a total of 48 points. Good evening, those were today's headlines. First, the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, Supreme Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Minister of National Defense, chaired on Monday a meeting of the Council of Ministers, a meeting devoted to two bills relating to the rules applicable to free zones management, the protection and development of green spaces, as well as presentations on the promotion of the strategy of electrical industries, in addition to the drinking water situation in the provinces of Algiers, Oran, Constantine, and the new city of Bourzoul. After listening to the Prime Minister's presentation on the assessment of the government's activities during the last 2 weeks, the Ombudsman of the Republic presented his periodic report on the evolution of the situation of the investment projects blocked during the last 2 weeks. Therefore, the following was decided. First, the lifting of the freeze on 813 investment projects out of 915 projects, additional 39 projects. As a result, 11% of the halted projects are being studied. Next, 545 projects are now operational, additional 57 new projects since the last Council of Ministers, where 497 projects were launched, and which eventually led to the creation of 2,169 new jobs in different sectors. Following this presentation, the President of the Republic gave the following instructions. First, concerning the rules applied in the free zones, the bill includes a total break with all the contradictions and practices that Algeria had known in the past for a successful new economic approach and a new era of radical development. Provide all the organizational and framing conditions for the various activities by considering that this field represents a new exchange era, particularly with the African market, to grant an extreme importance to the fight against the contraband in order to preserve our economic capacities in a worldwide situation which knows unprecedented disturbances. The President of the Republic urged the emphasis on the prevention and the rigorous application of the measures prohibiting the export of basic food materials. As for the presentation related to electrical industries, the President of the Republic ordered the integration of local products in all markets, including the ones created with foreigners, and instructed also the Energy Minister to inspect and list the imports of the national company in charge of electricity and natural gas distribution in Algeria, Sonelgaz, and proceed to immediately prohibit the import of all locally manufactured products such as generators and electrical cables in order to encourage the Algerian investors. The President of the Republic also instructed the Minister of Industry, Trade and Higher Education to work in coordination to create laboratories for the quality control of imported household electrical appliances provinces. The President of the Republic welcomed the initiative to bring together all economic operators active in the electrical industry sector, inviting them to organize a trade exhibition dedicated to this sector. After the adoption of the project on the management and development of green spaces by the Council of Ministers, the President of the Republic gave instructions to the Minister of Housing after listening to a presentation on the new city of Bougazoul, where the minister said that the creation of the city's infrastructure requires a thorough study and a futuristic vision. Concerning the drinking water situation of the provinces of Algiers, Oran and Constantine, the water security in Algiers is dependent on the seawater desalination technique, which requires 5 desalination stations entry into operation as soon as possible. The cessation of all drilling operations intended for the use of underground water in order to preserve this strategic reserve. The imperative also to use and manage the water dams in a rational way in order to balance its distribution across all the provinces. The meeting of the Council of Ministers was concluded by the adoption of individual decisions on appointment and termination of functions of senior state positions. In another development, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and National Community Abroad said that the resolution of the Libyan crisis remains at the heart of the Algerian concerns. Ramtal Amamara was speaking at the 20th edition of the Doha International Forum, during which he said that the elections should not be the end in itself. This was during a session under the theme of building stability in Libya. The minister returned on the ceasefire and the importance of maintaining it as one of the most important achievements for the past 2 years. Al-Amamra reiterated Algeria's willingness to achieve national reconciliation in Libya. For his part, the Emir of the State of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, welcomed the success of the state visit recently made by the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, in Doha during a reception in honor of the heads of delegations attending the forum. In a separate development, the General Directorate of National Security released a video containing serious confessions and shocking statements made to investigators by the detainee Mohammed bin Halima, a member of the terrorist organization Rashad. Confessions concerning the despicable plans of this organization against Algeria and the Algerian people. Here is an extract of what he said.
Abdullah, who for his part was in contact with Zitout. He told him to tell me to stay in Algeria in order to use me to get information from the Defense Ministry during the popular protest movement or the Hirak. Mohammed Arbi Zitout works with a specific strategy based on dividing the work among us. For example, Abdullah gets to talk about the gendarmerie while he gets to talk about presidents and everything related to policy. To contact other members, he uses fake accounts while he gets instructions from Murad Hina. In 2021, Emir Dizet contacted me, so I met with his lawyer in Paris. He told me that his lawyer is a Jew and works with the intelligence, which will help me to sort my papers and my application. Zitouni told me to make that video and say that if I talk, it means that I have been tortured. But the truth is, I haven't been tortured nor beaten. I admit that I've made several mistakes and that those people manipulated me.
In another context, one of Ghelizan province's most important production units in terms of electrical cables is on the verge of creating a new production unit dedicated to electric transformers with the aim to boost the electrical industry. The details with Melissa Kubash.
With a production capacity of 500 tons per month, this cable production unit and electrical transformers is considered as one of the most important units in the province of Ghelizan.
بدينا الأشغال في هذه الوحدة سنة 2014. The project started in 2014, but it was until 2019 that we began producing electrical cables. And now we launched another production unit dedicated to the manufacture of electric transformers.
Thanks to skilled labor, this production unit ensures 17% of the national production and allowed the creation of 300 job positions.
We will soon launch a production unit dedicated to electric transformers of 100 kilovolt up to 200. We aspire to develop our activities and produce more powerful transformers.
This production unit aspires to expand in the near future, with the main target to contribute to the development of the national electrical industry.
Unemployment: more than 580,000 first-time job seekers will collect their allowance on Monday. The National Employment Agency will be in charge of this operation. Details with Ines Killo.
Good news for more than 508,000 first-time job seekers who will benefit from the unemployment allowance starting from Monday onwards at the national level. An announcement made by Abdelkader Jaber, the General Director of the National Employment Agency, ANEM. Among these first-time applicants, 44% have no professional qualification. 36 are university graduates and 20% are graduates of vocational training. Referring to first-time applicants without professional qualifications, the General Director of ANEM agency indicated that this category will benefit from short-term training programs to enable them to acquire skills in specialties in line with the available job offers. The number of first-time applicants on the Minha electronic platform since February 25th has reached 1,001,800 people, 92% of whom have been given an appointment to go to the local employment offices, while 9% have had their applications rejected because they don't fulfill some conditions. In addition, Abdelkader Jaber recalled the agreement recently signed between the National Employment Agency ANEM and Algérie Post, which has allowed the opening of more than 1,700 CCP accounts for the benefit of job seekers registered with ANEM and who didn't have an account before. The General Director of ANEM agency also affirmed that the unemployment allowance will be received by the beneficiaries until they obtain a job, announcing the setting up of an individual support program for the benefit of first-time job seekers receiving the unemployment allowance in order to ensure them an exact orientation on the basis of their qualifications towards the available job offers.
In a different context and within the outputs of the Council of Ministers headed by the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, which stipulates the necessity of rehabilitating the free zones, works are being carried out in the provinces of Elisi and Tindouf. Ines Kilou once again.
Works are continuing to complete the border crossing points on the Algerian-Mauritanian borders. This project, which should be delivered by the end of this current year, is a good initiative for the marketing of Algerian products across the African continent.
The works are progressing in parallel for both roads. We refer to the completion rate of 37%. The deadline of works completion has been reduced to 12 months.
Completing this road, which links the city of Tindouf and Zouérat in Mauritania, bears economic and social importance in line with the aspirations of the residents of the region. Same important economic project, but this time at the extreme east of the country, more precisely in the city of Elisi, which will lead to strengthening trade exchanges between African countries as Algeria seeks to achieve a new economic level. The free trade zone is of a great importance and a strong investment destination.
Through this project, we will be able to import the Algerian product, as we can even compete with other foreign products.
In view of its strategic location as a gateway to Africa, Algeria attaches great importance to this project, as it is a border crossing that leads to trade exchanges, such as the Debdab-Ghadames border road, which is ready to be opened for trade exchanges. Great efforts that reflects the state's keenness to promote economic mobility in the border areas to raise the rate of trade exchanges in the African markets.
Moving on to international news, protest movements are still ongoing in the Moroccan territories. Meetings and agreements are also being held between the Makhzen regime and the Zionist entity with the aim to create a joint military commission. According to Moroccan political parties, these relations are a real threat to their country. The details with Melissa Kubash.
Morocco keeps ignoring the demands and legitimate rights of its people and continues to hold meetings and agreements with the Zionist entity serving its own interests. The Makhzen regime received a visit from a Zionist military delegation, then held a meeting at the headquarters of the Moroccan army with an aim to develop cooperation between the Makhzen regime and the Zionist entity and create a joint military commission. The Moroccan regime thus displays its approach of submission to the will of the Zionist entity that aims to destabilize the North African region. The normalization of relations between Morocco and the Zionist entity continues to create a worrying atmosphere among Moroccan political parties and civil society. According to the head of foreign relations of the Moroccan movement, Al-Adl wal-Ihsan, the acceleration of pace of normalization of these relations is a real threat to the Kingdom of Morocco due to the dangerous dimensions it has taken, including the persistent attempts to implement the Zionist culture within the Moroccan society. The declarations and denunciations with regard to the Makhzen regime are ongoing concerning the betrayals that are occurring behind the back of the Moroccan people, who clearly refuses this situation imposed by force and repression.
We wrap up our today's news with football, and on the occasion of the 23rd day of the professional league, CR Belouizdad, which won on Sunday the derby 5-3 against Nasr Hussein in Van Oud Stadium here in Algiers, has strengthened its position as the leader of the League One football championship. Thanks to this brilliant success, CRB takes the lead with 8 points ahead of its direct rival, MCA Mouloudia Club of Algiers, while Nasr Hussein Dey remains stuck in the 16th position with 18 points. And with that, our today's news edition comes to a close. Thank you for tuning in.